Hello friends, I'm so happy you're here. I'm Erin Ware, and I have a February favorites video for you today. I just couldn't pull it together last week to get this made. I was dealing with a migraine and just, stuff, and so thank you for being patient with me. I haven't missed a week in a while, but sometimes it happens. So I am just I have a little bit of an outline, but I'm really just gonna show you inside of the books that I've been in the most this past month and just show you kind of what I've been up to. It just feels like it flew by. I've heard a lot of people say that. I also heard a lot of people say that January took a year to get through, or took a really long time, and I felt like January was fast too. So I just feel like time is moving really fast. Maybe that's better than it moving too slow. I don't know. But let me just start with this one because it's pretty simple. This one, if you don't remember, is it's like a hobonichi planner, the A6 planner. And I added this cute little, these beads that say passage. That's my word of the year. I actually pulled these out at the beginning of the year and put them in a little pen case. I think I tried them on another one of my notebooks and it didn't quite look right. And then I tried them on this, and I think it's the colors. I think the blue and the gold, and the shape of the planner maybe. I just think it looks so cute and I love having it on there. I love being reminded of my word, and so that makes me happy. And I also added in this journal, which I made a couple years ago, but it's used up a lot, and it's basically the same size as this A6 planner, a little bit thinner I think, but yeah. It fit in here, and I just thought it might be nice to have it in here. I don't know if I'll leave it, but this is the Chic Sparrow A6 strings traveler's notebook, and it's kind of big for just one book, and I don't even have this on the strings. I just have it tucked in the back. And so I thought maybe this would fill it out a little bit more, and it does look nice, but I haven't really used it much, so I'm not really sure. Maybe not. I don't know. The thing is this notebook I use as a review notebook, so I keep things in here like my accomplishments, things that I am tracking, social media, or just stats, things that I'm, wanting to track for my business. I have started putting in kind of a dashboard. This is an image of my own journal, and the past month, let's see, for February, I did a similar thing where it was like my own image. And so I feel like that's what I'm doing every month, is just putting in an image of my own artwork. I didn't do that in January. This is just like a, hodgepodge, but I think I like that idea. This is basically where I write some reviews of things, like how the day has gone, what I did, my goals for the week. It's kind of like captain's log in a way as far as my business goes. It's usually a pretty short little description of what I got up to that day work-wise and how I think I did. I think I talked to you about my star rating system. I did not keep doing that, and mostly it's just because it's hard to get out my stamp and do that every day. And even if I don't do it every day, it just felt like a little too much, and I want to keep this really sustainable. So it's enough for me to just sort of write down a little note about what I did. And sometimes I miss it and I backlog, and sometimes I, like this, the weekends are for a review. I didn't get to it this time. So that's what's in there. I am still enjoying it. I'm not in here every day. I will often sit in sorry, there's a giant plane going overhead. I will often wait. Not wait, I just get behind and I will fill it out for a few days at a time. And that usually works okay as long as I have kind of kept up with my tasks and what I'm doing in my planner. Sometimes, like lately, I've had some just stuff going on, not feeling so great. So I got behind a few days, but I still found like I could kind of say something about what I was doing those days, even if I didn't write anything else down. And that makes me feel better because I do struggle with remembering, not necessarily like what happened in the day, though that's definitely true since having kids. But I think I struggle with only remembering what I didn't get done. And I often don't remember what I did do, or I don't celebrate what I did do. I don't acknowledge like the work that I did accomplish because I'm so focused on the things that I didn't do. There's always a long list of things I think I should be doing, and I don't ever feel like I've done enough in the day. And that's something I've acknowledged, especially over the last like couple of years. And becoming a mother really, my oldest is about to be 7 years old. So, but like that makes you change your, like not just your priorities, but just your outlook on like how many things can you do in a day? Not that many really. And so, but the things that I'm spending my time on, I want them to be worthwhile. I want them to be moving me forward, in the directions I want to go. So I should say direction. That is another problem. I've got too many directions moving in, but that's another story. So this is actually really helpful. I enjoy it a lot, and I'll just real quick flip through my my work planner. I am once again I'm a little behind. I just have been kind of in a fog the last several days, or like the last couple weeks. I feel like I just haven't been as productive as I was, but that's okay. We have things like that. So I've got March ready, even though we're into it now and I haven't done a whole lot. You have seen this probably, so I'm not going to show you too much, but this is what is going on. So, and here we are, it's Wednesday, and I didn't do anything. Well, that's not true. I didn't write anything down yesterday, so I need to go back and look at that. But I can tell you this, I am really trying hard to not get bogged down in all of the little things that I do, to not force myself to check things off the list every day, because sometimes the work is work that takes a long time, and if I'm needing those check marks, then I'm not maybe getting into the work as much as I should. And I am trying to just be okay with, as an artist, sometimes just thinking, like just sitting around and thinking is the work. And the world doesn't want me to feel that way. Like I feel like society, wants me to feel like I need to be busy to be working. But sometimes I get the best work done when I take a shower and I just allow myself to think, or, whenever that happens. If I'm just sitting looking at the birds outside, or if I'm going for a walk, anytime that I allow myself to let my mind roam, that is actually really, I don't want to say productive, but in a way, it is the most useful time. I don't even want to say useful. What do I want to say? Fertile time? It's like important time. And I am trying to get better at reorienting myself toward using time in that way more often, instead of feeling like I need to be busy, busy, busy. My kids are in school now. This is the first year that since having kids that I have time during the day to do my work, and on a regular basis. And I think that when they started going to school, like my daughter, both of them, I felt like I needed to rush through my day to get all the things in. And even with them at school, I don't get everything done, obviously. So I still fell into that trap of either trying to be really busy or rebelling against that and doing nothing on purpose just to spite everybody. I don't even know. But instead to allow myself to just like be in the time and use it or just enjoy it and let it just sit in it. And I don't know, I feel like I'm going on a tangent here, but I do feel a shift happening, and I am trying my best to allow that to happen. And I don't think it's just me. I feel like a lot of creators, a lot of people are feeling more and more like, this is the problem with this thing, is I always have to put it on the right direction. Are feeling more and more like that we want to be busy less and to use our time more. I'm gonna have to think of the word. You let me know if you have a good word for that, because useful and productive, even beneficial, sounds not quite right. So I don't know. It's something to think about. Let me scooch this over just a bit. All right, so I wanted to show you this. I watched a video by Micah of Cat Collage Club, and she had a sticker book that she had purchased, I guess, fairly recently. Hers is a little different, but it's basically the same thing. It's an A5, a sticker book on Amazon. I'll link below the one that I got. There are several. I don't think I think that I had considered a sticker book, but then didn't really feel like I needed it. And then I saw hers and saw how she was using it for printables that she had cut out, and that, I don't know, there were some bells ringing and some synapses in my brain connecting, and I bought this so that I could use it for mainly, like, both for my own printables, but also other people's and other things that I have. I do have a sticker book. Now I have this TN set up to be kind of like my sticker book, where it has the sleeves full of Kidda tape and my pockets of things, and then I have this sticker release paper book in here where I cut out, I mean, it's some stickers, it's also a lot of PET tape that I've cut out. It's like all ready to go, and it just makes things so much easier when things are ready to go. And plus, you know, if I'm using up a sticker sheet, I can just stick it in here. I don't have to go through. I don't have like a ton of stickers, but I have plenty. And I do find that I use things more if I can see them easily. And so that's helping me. You'll see I'm using a lot of these in my weeklies. But that's been really nice. But that's kind of small, and I can't fit like a bunch of big things like my own printables from Patreon and Etsy or whatever. And I often make them bigger, and that way you can size them down. You can print like 2 to a page or 4 to a page or whatever and get smaller things. Like I think these stamps that I made, these are probably printed 4 to a page. And so I got 4 sheets of small stamps out of one paper size, you know? So I'm loving this, because before I just had these things kind of tucked into various folders and all kinds of places. I was not organized about it at all, and I would often lose things and come across things again and be like, oh, I need to use this. And so now whenever I come across more of my old printables that I have already printed out and they're just like languishing in drawers, I just cut them out or I stick them in here. They might be already cut out, but it's been really nice. I can kind of see everything. I mean, I've been making these printables like in this kind of format, I guess, for probably for longer, but definitely for at least 3 years, more than 3 years for Etsy. And so there's a lot of stuff that I forget about, and there's a lot of stuff that I might not think about going together in my brain, but then when I have them all mixed, like these are from, I mean, this is from like 3 years ago, and some of these are more recent. This is like Christmas time, this past Christmas, and these are recent, but this is like really old. And so it's fun to see how they fit together when I stick them in here, and I might put them on the page in my journal like that, like all mixed in and mixed up, and it's kind of fun to see. These are some of the latest ones that I've made in March, the clover, and what else have I made recently? These were a couple weeks ago. Small victories. So yeah, that's fun. I am really enjoying the sticker book. And then in the back, I have other printables from, like, these are from Courtney Diaz, and I have some other, like, some book things printed, just some other stuff that I have collected. This is from Journal as Alter, and that's all I've got in here right now, but I am having fun filling this out, and I've got a lot of pages left to go, so I plan on getting some other people's printables in here and some of my own, like just filling it out, and I use them a lot more this way, so that's nice. This cover, I don't know if you can get it. It's a King Gem cover that I got from the Stationery selection. I think it was in a box, and I don't know anything else about it. So I don't know if they're available, but it is pretty cool. It's like a craft paper little like folder cover thing. You can put A5 size notebooks in there. I just have like another like cheap sticker book back there. Okay, so I'm gonna flip through this now and talk about a couple more things, and I think that might be it. So as you know, or maybe you don't, but this is my favorite place. This is my personal space. My B6 Sterling ink planner. Speaking of old printables, that's one of my oldest printables on Etsy. I still love it. It's printed on vellum here, and I just love it so much. And these are my printable papers that I think are still on Patreon. And like, this is mine. Yeah. Anyway, I have a vision board. I think you've probably seen all this, but just in case, I'm doing a little flip, some goal stuff. This is just personal goals. So anything like hobby related, reading, home stuff, family stuff. It doesn't have to do with work at all. And it's really important for me to try to find ways to separate my work and like personal life, because work, I'm an artist and it takes over my life. It's just hard to separate. It's kind of all consuming. And so for me, it's been fun to find ways to, even if they're all gonna be, it's like spaghetti, like it's always gonna be like my art pours out of my life in a way that can't be separate from it. So I have to get creative in ways to fill my cup again, to say, I'm just doing this because I want to. Like, it doesn't have to be purposeful. I don't need to get anything out of this. I don't have to be learning anything or whatever. I'm just doing this because I want to. I mean, this is fun for me, and that's the only reason I need. And so I don't know when it became hard for me to do that, but maybe it always has been. So I'm definitely looking for ways to have fun, and this is one of them. I do love to read, but I also love to put stickers down. And so I have found a way to combine those two things. I have been keeping up with my reading by putting these sticker dots down. And so what I do is I give every book I'm reading a color, and then when I read that book, like on a day, if I read from that book, even if it's just a couple of minutes, it doesn't matter. If I picked up the book at all, I put a sticker down. and it really is fun to put the sticker down, but it's also cool to see like how long it took me to read a book, or how often I resisted reading it, or like, you know, like for instance, the 10,000 Doors of January, I started reading at the end of December, but I think I started it over in January, and okay, so I started it over here on the 15th of January, and I finished it February 28th, which is kind of a long time for me now to be reading a book. And you can see I didn't read it at all for a couple weeks. And that's kind of because I was enjoying it so much, but it's also not a fast, easy read. It's like really beautifully written, and so you kind of want to soak in it. I guess I wasn't in the mood to like really sink into the story until I got more serious about it, and I was like, I'm finishing this in February because I don't want it to take too long, because I might forget what's happening in the story, and there are all these other books that I'm reading that are taking up space in my brain. And so it was a 5-star read for me, the 10,000 Doors of January. I loved it. I cried in the last I don't know, I want to say like 40 or 50 pages. I was like crying, like beautiful tears, like beautiful good crying, not like, it wasn't a sad ending. It was like a redemptive story, and I enjoyed it so much. I don't know if it's a book for everyone, because like I said, it is beautiful. The writing is beautiful, but that makes it a little bit more complicated to read. It's, you know, more complex, and it has kind of a book within a book, or like a story within the story, and that makes it a little bit more like, it's not so straightforward. So if that sounds good to you, then definitely pick it up. It was a beautiful, beautiful read. And I can say that once, I don't know exactly like the percentage or the page, but at some point around here, like middle of the book-ish, I just wanted to keep reading. I didn't want to put it down. Like, I was enjoying it so much. Because the action picked up and things were happening and things were making more sense, right? So anyways, that was really good. The other really good book I read in February, but I finished it March 1st, was The Unmaking of June Farrow. I loved the story so much. I read it so quickly. I loved it. It was another 5-star read. I put that here. It was beautiful. And it was the type of book that once I got to chapter 2 or 3, like, it was not an immediate go, but I got a little bit into the book, and then I just wanted to keep reading. I wanted to find out what happened. So that one was really good. And I don't know how much I want to tell you about I don't know if I should tell you the plots. I think in this video I won't, but let me know if you're interested in hearing more about books I'm reading. I did really enjoy Emily Wilde's book, both of those. I read the sequel here, and I can tell you that these other ones are, I'm not even going to talk about because they're fine. They're whatever. I'm not going to give any more airtime. We're in March. I'm loving it, still loving the stickers, and it's so fun. I just think this is a great idea. I don't think I've seen anybody do things this way. It's definitely a little bit nerdy, but I'm having a great time. You can see another thing that I read. I think I read either more in January, which I probably did. Read more in January, but also I read more. I did a better job of reading more books in a day, like 3 books. I didn't do that as much here, but part of that was because I was reading this book for so long in the 1st of February, and I was so mad at it for taking that long and doing nothing for me. So that was part of it. That's all I'll say about that. Okay, so let's go to the weeklies. I think I left you here in January. I kind of dedicated this spread to Courtney Diaz. It's a lot of her printables, not everything, but a lot of her stuff. And I printed some on vellum, so it's like these cute little, I don't know, floaty little tip-in like things. And then, yeah, I had fun filling that out. And then this week was okay. It's like whatever. I had a lot more fun this week. We went on a little trip on the weekend, and it was the beginning of Lent and Valentine's Day, and also there was something else happening. There were a couple big things. I mean, kids' dentist appointments and whatever. I mean, there was just a lot happening that week. And then our trip carried on in this week, and I kind of lost, you can tell I didn't fill it all out, but that's okay. I made a couple of things this week. I made a doll and a frog, like sewed them, and started on something for myself that's also sewn, and that was a big deal because I had been resisting that type of craft for a while. So just trying to find ways to enjoy myself, my off hours. And then some of you maybe have already seen that I was going to tell my patrons this first, but here I am recording this video and it's very obvious, like the things that I have written. I don't know, I was kind of trying to hide it, but I feel like now I can't hide it. I submitted some things to Uppercase Magazine, and I got in for the next issue, Uppercase issue number 61. I highly suggest subscribing to this magazine if you love looking at like other artists and creators and what other people are doing. It's beautifully designed. Janine Van Gool designs it. She's been doing it for, I think, 15 years, and it's like independently run. It's amazing. It is expensive, but it's worth it because it's so beautiful. And I've been a subscriber for a few years, I think, at least a couple years, but have been a long time, like, random picker-upper of this magazine for, I don't know, a long, long time. So I'm very excited to be in it this time because it has been a part of my life for a while. So that's very exciting news for me. Yeah, and that's it. We're here. I'm a little behind, but that's fine. I had to write this quote down. My daughter said this in the car yesterday. She was explaining to me how they play music in her classroom, and she said, Alexa is not a human. She's round like a cheese ball, and she's black, and she plays music. This morning she played Trolls, and she also plays Sleepy Time music. So when she said that, I had to keep a straight face because I wanted her to share with me all of her thoughts on this without feeling self-conscious. But when I told my husband about it last night, I could not, like, I laughed so hard because I could not say cheeseball with a straight face. I love that. She called it a cheeseball. I mean, not just a ball, but a cheese ball. Like, it makes me so proud. So yeah, that made me so happy. So at least I got that down. And that's that. I'll show you a few pages. I've just kind of, what have I been doing? I have a lot of, I can't remember where I left off, but this is like a physical TBR list. Have I shown you this? This is February calendar and like some mood cycle tracking. Ink swatches that I did, YouTube video, more ink swatches. Have I shown you this? I don't know if I've shown you this. This is some samples from Vanness Pens that I got after that video because a couple of people suggested Vanness having this ink I was looking for, and I had a very nice time picking out a color palette, and I've been using it, at least some of them. I've inked up a pen with this, and I have that one too. So yeah, it's been really nice to have some new colors, and yeah, here they are. Using them. I probably need to go back and, use this page, but I got really into writing lists of books. I watched a couple of videos by Joey, something by Journals or Notebooks with Joey, or I can't remember what it is, but she's hilarious, and I love her unhinged lists. She has so many lists, and I think I was looking for permission to kind of do that sort of thing, because I also love a good list, love lists. And so when I saw all of her lists, I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing with my time. So a couple weekends ago, I spent so much time just working on this. And so I already had pulled some lists of books from the internet, like Goodreads list, Penguin's list of 100 top books you should read. And she had talked about this book, 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die by Peter Boxall. And I looked that up. I found a list online of some of the books. I think it's a book that's updated regularly. I also recently was at Barnes & Noble and saw a book called 1000 Books You Read Before You Die. Something very similar. And to me, just without having seen the other one first in person, this other one seemed more interesting to me, the way that it was laid out and the way, maybe the books included. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say with any authority, but there's just some interesting lists out there. I'll leave it at that. You can use your own discretion what type of lists you want to use. I also looked at the Gilmore Girls, I don't have it in here, but the Gilmore Girls list of all the books mentioned on that show. There's also lists of books that just Rory read on that show. There are all kinds of lists. You can find lists for all sorts of things. I just went through the list that I had. I wrote down I used the 3 for my journal. So that one, the 1001 books, 100 from Penguin Classics, 100 from Goodreads. And I wrote down all the books that I had already read off of those lists. And I wrote them down each time if they were mentioned on the list. So, for instance, Pride and Prejudice and To Kill a Mockingbird, I think are on each list. And so I wrote them down 3 times, if that makes sense. And then I went through each one and marked what I was interested in reading. At least for the time, now, at this moment in time, what am I interested in reading? And I highlighted it. And so I wrote them down. And then I went to the next list. And if they were repeated, I would put a little star or write it down. I would just write it down, or if it was repeated, I would put a star. I did that for each list, and then I put a star, a bonus star, if I own the book, if it's on my bookshelf. So the ones that I'll be reading the soonest are the ones with 3 stars. So Brave New World and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, which I'm more excited about Brave New World. I've wanted to read that for a long time, and I don't know why I haven't. But I haven't. And then I have this list of other books. Most of them are classics, some more modern classics, but yeah. So that's just fun, and that's all I have going on. That's all I've done lately. So I did purchase some more stickers for my reading list. I got these from Orange Umbrella Co. I was looking for a very specific type of sticker. They had to be 0.25 inches, or I think it's 6 millimeters, and they had to be like a transparent matte finish. And I mean, they weren't so easy to find. There's a lot of dot stickers out there, but they're like varying sizes and types of sticker. There's a lot of opaque type paper stickers, and I wanted the transparent. So I ordered those. I got way too many colors, but I couldn't choose, and now I'm stocked up for like at least the year, right? Let's hope. Let's hope that's enough for the year. But I'm having so much fun with with these, that I was having so much fun that I wanted to make sure that I could continue it without being nervous about the amount of stickers I was using. Because I only had these ones from Post-it. This sheet comes from like the Post-it Noted collection, and I couldn't replace these. I couldn't find them. I don't think they sell them anymore. And plus there's only this many colors, and if I'm reading more books in the month, I need more colors. And I also like having color options, so yeah. The other thing that I wanted to kind of mention that I have been enjoying so much, just using stamps. I've never been, I haven't historically been a stamp person. I think because they can be kind of finicky to use, but I also think that it's because I didn't have the right stamp pads that, I think it was the colors, honestly. I think more than anything, the colors were what caused me to feel, I don't know, I needed some muted colors, I think, or just some more me colors. I have collected some stamps that I absolutely love over the past, definitely like couple years, 2 or 3 years. Some of these I've purchased more recently, but a lot of, I've just been collecting them for a time. I'm really picky about the types of stamps that I want to use. And so I don't buy a ton of different kinds of stamps, but I do find like what I like. I want to use them over and over again. And I think that's the key, is I need to buy stamps that I can see myself using over and over again. And I love stamps that kind of tell a story or are symbolic of something, or just something I do in my daily life. Some of them are kind of quirky and odd. I have several stamps from Yawn Charm, and I did recently get this alphabet set from Yawn Charm. I think another brand I like a lot is the, I'm probably not going to say this right at all, but I think it's Kurin Kinky. But these houses and yeah, I don't know, Kurokinki. I feel like that's probably not right, but I'm doing my best here. So I get a lot of stamps when I do get them. I've purchased several of them from Niconeko and from A Blank Note, some of these, and probably from a few other places. But then these cases I bought from Target when they have I think they're like back to school type things. I think they're supposed to be flashcard holders or something like that, and they fit in there so nicely. I think this in itself it just helps me use my stamps. These are a little fat. These are from, where are these from? Johan Studio. And they're a little bit too chunky to sit upright. So I just lay them on their side and they fit that way. I have these long ones from Yamadoro. These are from A Blank Note, and they're long, so I just lay them down. Anyways, this works out great. You can't find these all the time at Target, but I think around back to school time. And you can, maybe you saw, you can put what are these called? Acrylic stamps, maybe? You can put these on the lid. They just stick to them, and then you have them, you know, ready to use. So that's been fun, and I have really, really enjoyed my Sachihara little ink pads. I'd say especially this silver color I love so much. It's the it's this color. It's kind of like a pewter almost. And I also love the light blue. I think it's water blue. I actually have a little thing here I can show you. Baby blue and silver gray. Maybe those are the colors I have so far. And these are my favorites. And part of that is because they don't ghost as much. They don't show through the page quite as much because they are lighter in color. And I just find that they blend on the page really nicely. And so I'm enjoying them. I feel like I've talked your ear off. I'm sure that there's more to share, but I don't want to keep you too long. I will be back next week with another video. Please always feel free to let me know what you're interested in seeing like more of or hearing more about. Anything that I mentioned that I don't really go into enough, feel free to ask more about it. I love talking about this sort of thing, but I often feel self-conscious about how much I'm talking or how long I talk or how much I'm sharing. So if you have a specific question or you just want to, you know, see more of it, then let me know and I'd be glad to share. I hope you're well. I hope that you're having a good week, and I will be back soon to share something else with you. So goodbye.